and I think it comes to this dark religion, that dark religion it's just an illusion of mind to believe or to get sort of attached to idea that it knows and it has this final answer. And not only it knows, but it also has this moral right to do whatever it wants with other who are outside of it, right? So a lot of people who say, okay, because that's what God said, translated, that's because what I believe that God said, and that's what it's not part of my belief, it's an unconscious, therefore projected onto you as an evil. I have a right to eliminate you or torture you or burn you at the stake or tell you that your sexual orientation is some kind of a sinful choice that you are making, and therefore I have a right to do whatever I, as a holder of this belief, can do. And that's the big fallacy. That's what George and me try to explain based on Jungian's finding that the dark religion is a trap. It's a developmental stage, but unfortunately, it's a powerful phenomena or entity that it has so much power in the world that the world's existence depends on it. Let's look at the war in Iran right now. I mean, there's fundamentalists in the United States trying to impose their own beliefs on the fundamentalists in Iran, helped by fundamentalists from the Jewish religion. So you have these three Abrahamic religions trying to fight over the power and energy and domination of the world. So this is a dark religion par excellence, right? The ego is using that image of God to enforce their own greed and control.
Based on how you've described dark religion, I think there are some people who would think that any religion is a dark religion, that it'd be hard to find examples of people who didn't use religion in this way to justify their own, morals, beliefs, actions.
Well, that's a very good point, and I would like to stress that like it's not like George or me or anyone who is into Jung and trying to understand those things, that we believe we know what the right religion is, right? So it's like more saying this is probably not really healthy, right? So it's a spectrum. It's maybe difference between the night and a day, and there is some gray areas, right? When it's just a little bit visible until it's really dark. So it's more like saying some things doesn't sound right. They seem to be very dark, meaning very unconscious. So there are some processes that when applied, people would say, and they sort of use this Occam razor, and they say, it can't be true. I mean, this is like way too much. It's just like when somebody tells you Earth is flat, and I believe that, and I'm not willing to discuss it, and whatever evidence you have to disprove that, then I'm not going to believe that. I'm going to just reject it. So then you are going to say, well, I can talk to this guy. He's so dogmatic, and I'm bringing all this evidence here, and he's rejecting it. So there must be something with the belief itself.
Yeah.
And then you ask, so why does he need to really adhere to such a strong convictions that resist the questioning or the resist even discussing about it so much? There must be some kind of psychological grip.
Well, let's get into some of the questions that you seek to answer in the book. And the first one explores how do we recognize dark religion? Like, what are its psychological and religious signs? So to differentiate a dark religion from a healthy relationship to religion, let's say.
Yeah. It's lovely. So we would call it spirituality. So is it the opposite of dark religion is spirituality. So it's like a healthy and open-minded way of looking at the world. So, I mean, somebody asked me recently, like, how do you know if the conspiracy theory is not true? Maybe it's true, and you thought it was a conspiracy theory all along, just like in recent development of the Epstein case, etc. Right? Like, when what do we really know? Maybe those things were happening.
Mhm.
So I think the healthy position is sort of a analytical position is to take and say it could be. Let's explore it, right? Let's look at it. What is the evidence? How can we talk about it? What can we investigate together, right? So I think this the position of the mind caught in dark religion is dogmatic. So it already predefines things and it says, I know this is true. And you say, well, maybe there are some other ways that look at it, and they already the mind code in dark religion already employs all these defense mechanisms in place that start rejecting things, they're rationalizing, or if you had a discussion with somebody who was caught in it, it's going nowhere because it hits this wall, and then person either accuses you, start using this ad hominem, and like calls you name, gets angry, slams the door, leaves the room, or um, it, start explaining things in a way that don't make sense, or comes to this like fate. It is so because I believe that, and there is no
Mhm.
discussion about it. So there's all kinds of psychological maneuvers that are nothing that defenses bind to the ego, versus open-minded, a spiritual attitude saying, I don't know. What can we know? What can we hope for? And what should we do? Right? We can
Mhm.
ask this kind of Kantian questions about it and go on exploring it. And hopefully there is that attitude that brings you into some kind of middle ground, that it's more healthy rather than dogmatic.
Mhm.
Because what dark religion is essentially a split. It's a narcissistic split, or we call it, the difference between this sort of a dark area between the ego and the self, and the disruption of this axis, where the soul and the mind are disconnected. So we can say that we are not in touch with the other side, with the feelings. So we become robotic, or we become purely rational without connecting what is this rationality springing from, or what is it connected to.